What's going on, everyone? So, Jarred Vanderbilt is slowly making his progress to return to the basketball court, which is huge, right? He's doing non contact activities. We're probably still, about 2 weeks, is my guess, um, give or take, away from Jarred Vanderbilt actually returning. Now, also, once he gets back, I imagine it's probably going to be another 2 weeks, if not more, before he really starts to get back into the swing of things. You got to think he hasn't played in nearly a full calendar year at this point. And we saw last season when he came back from injury, took him about 10 games just to start to look like the Jarred Vanderbilt we know and love. He wasn't even fully there, but was beginning to look like Jarred Vanderbilt. In a perfect world, by now, and he comes back, gets into the swing of things, right? And between now and come playoff time, he is full Jarred Vanderbilt, what we saw when we first acquired him as our just defensive stopper, and we're ready to jump into the playoffs, and just the impact that Jarred Vanderbilt can provide, right? See a lot of people that are like, how much is Jarred Vanderbilt going to help this team? Tremendously. One, he is our best perimeter defender. He's also arguably, if not the clear-cut best defensive player out on the perimeter in the entire NBA. I mean, the ground that he covers, the defensive impact that he has, the stats, the numbers all back it up. I mean, everything signals, the eye test, all of it shows that he is that impactful. Darvin Ham was able to make him a serviceable offensive player, right? I believe J.J. Redick will be able to do the same with him, but it's not even that. Like, he impacts the game in so many ways, from, creating live ball turnovers to just creating turnovers, period, which lead to more offensive opportunities, which lead to more offensive points, which are created through Jarred Vanderbilt. Not to mention the lack of offense produced by the opposing team, right? When he's able to keep guys, 10% worse than their average, right? Or a guy gets he still scores 30, but he did it on 30 shots as opposed to 22 shots, right? That's the difference between you winning or losing a game, right? Like, it's the impact, the little things, keeping basketballs alive, getting rebounds, offensive rebounds, right? All of these are more opportunities for the Lakers on the offensive side while getting stops and limiting your opponents on the defensive side. Right? That's how the game works. You stop your opponent from scoring and you score the basketball. Jarred Vanderbilt impacts on both manners, right? So he's a guy that can really have an impact. Look, he's like not even elite three, just like a serviceable three away. Like 35% from three, which is still like slightly less than league average. But if he could just be like 35% from three, he'd be like one of the premier 3-and-D guys in the entire league if he could stay healthy. That's the big concern. But here's the problem, right? Lakers still have other needs. They still have other issues. And the best ability is availability. And the Lakers have kind of a bit of a predicament here, right? Which is why the Lakers want to kind of take a step back and evaluate, right? They acquired Dorian Finney Smith, who he did probably the best Jarred Vanderbilt impression we have seen on the Lakers since Jarred Vanderbilt. Cam Reddish has done a really good job, but man, Dorian Finney Smith that dude was everywhere and had his hand in everything. But one of these two guys are going to be the odd man out, right? Rui Hachimura or Jarred Vanderbilt. Honestly, I think Jarred Vanderbilt is the guy healthy, assuming he can stay healthy, is the guy that you have to keep, right? Because I think Jarred Vanderbilt's just much more versatile and much more bigger of a need, especially if the Lakers are able to go get, say, Valanciunas at the center spot, right? Jarred Vanderbilt, you can slot essentially 2 through 4, right? Most of the time, Jarred Vanderbilt is out on the perimeter defending guards anyway, right? So, you could slot Jarred Vanderbilt. I mean, we do it with Cam Reddish all the time. And I've heard people be like, you can't play Jarred Vanderbilt at the 2. Of course you can. This isn't the local YMCA. This is the NBA, right? It's positionless basketball. Most guys are slotted for defensive purposes anyway. Right? Yes, you can do that. Dorian Finney Smith has defended all 5 positions in the league. He's the only guy to do so in at least 15 minutes or more, right? This isn't, again, the local Y where, Jarred Vanderbilt, he's the size of a 3, so he has to play the 3, right? No. You could put him alongside Reeves and Dorian Finney Smith and LeBron James and Anthony Davis if you wanted to, especially if you could get just a serviceable 3-point shot. right? You can't do that with Rui. You can't slot Rui at the 2. You can't slot him at the 3. He's really more of a 4. I mean, obviously he's playing the 3, but you've seen the struggles and limitations that this team has and he has when he's slotted at the 3, particularly on the defensive side. Now, obviously Rui is a much better offensive player without a doubt, right? Like, if Jarred Vanderbilt had Rui Hachimura's offense, Jarred Vanderbilt would be clearly the third best player on this team. It might even be the number 2 option on most nights, right? Like, same thing. I mean, you could argue the same thing with Rui, right? If Rui had Jarred Vanderbilt's defense. Again, same thing applies. But the problem is that you're probably going to have to trade one of these 2 guys. And Rui Hachimura is the guy that has the more sizable salary, is more limited in functionality out there on the basketball court and where you can slot him and play him amongst the other players that you have. Also, Jarred Vanderbilt, you can have him just kind of be a specialist. You can't do that with Rui, right? So with Jarred Vanderbilt, what Vando gives you is, like, Rui is going to want to play, 25 to 30 minutes a game. And also, next season, he's an expiring contract. So you're probably going to have to trade him regardless, especially if he's only getting 15 to 20 minutes a game. Jarred Vanderbilt, on the other hand, 1, you got him locked up long-term. 2, I don't think he cares as much, right? Like, obviously, I'm sure he wants to play as much as possible. But given the circumstances, given he's coming back from injuries and stuff like that, he's a guy that I think understands, like, all right, I'm probably going to be limited. I'm probably just going to be in this particular role, which is also probably best for the Lakers. Because Jarred Vanderbilt, now you could have him come in, say, 3 to 4 minutes a quarter. He's playing, 12 to 16 minutes. And it's like, hey, don't worry about anything else but stopping that guy. You see that guy right there? Shut him down, right? Like, that's your only, exert all your energy in just stopping that guy. Say we play whatever. Say we play the Grizzlies in the first round. It's like, all right, your job is to stop Ja. And you're going to do that for like 16 minutes a game. And he's just hounding Ja nonstop 3-4 minutes a quarter. Right? And then we play, say the Thunder. All right, SGA, you see him? Yeah, you shut him down. And you just slot Jarred Vanderbilt along. Can you imagine? So we have seen, right? You got Dorian Finney Smith now integrated into this team. Jarred Vanderbilt plus Anthony Davis alone made the Lakers the best defense in the league. What does it look like when you have, say, Dorian Finney Smith with Jarred Vanderbilt and Anthony Davis out there? You don't think that we're going to be incredible defensively? Oh, what if you were to throw, say, a Max Christie out there too? And you have Max, Dorian, Vando, and Anthony Davis with like an Austin Reeves, for offensive purposes, right? Or, even a LeBron James, right, out there just for size. You could even do, like I said, you could do like LeBron because he could basically be your pseudo point guard. You could still slot him at the 4, but he could basically be your point guard, right? Like, you could do something where you have a unit out there of like Max Christie, Jarred Vanderbilt, Dorian Finney-Smith, LeBron James, and Anthony Davis at the end of a game, and you need to get a stop, right? Like, you can't do that with Rui. You can't. But you can do that with Jarred Vanderbilt. I mean, just the defense. And to always have a guy. So, Dorian Finney-Smith is out there, right? He goes to the bench, boom, you can bring in Jarred Vanderbilt, and you don't lose a beat defensively. If anything, you get better defensively. Right? Yeah, you might lose a beat offensively, but that's why you balance it out with other guys. Right? And it's just, I just look at kind of the way that this team is shaping up. And especially if you get like a Christian Wood back, right? And if he can kind of get back to a version that we saw before he came to the Lakers, right? And Darvingham essentially just used him as a 3-and-D wing, right? If you can get a version of that to pair with Jarred Vanderbilt's return, 1, I think the Lakers would be much better. 2, I just think it becomes more and more apparent that Rui Hachimura is going to end up being the odd man out. Now, could you still trade Jarred Vanderbilt and keep Rui? Sure. You would have to, in my opinion, trade at least one of them. right? It just depends on what the Lakers are looking for. Now, if the Lakers were to get, say, a Bruce Brown or, Alonzo or something like that, could you argue that maybe now you have enough defense to keep Rui? Sure. But the problem is I still don't like Rui at the 3. And that's where he would have to play. Because if the Lakers do get a center, guess what? Anthony Davis is going to play more 4. Right? So you're going to have LeBron and AD playing essentially almost all the 4 minutes. Christian Wood, I imagine, will probably slot in and play some of those 4 minutes. And so you're going to have Christian Wood, Anthony Davis, and LeBron James basically as your 4. And then as your 3, you'd have Dorian Finney Smith. You got to get minutes for Dalton Connect, right? You're probably getting minutes for, Jarred Vanderbilt if you were to keep him. Right? Now, if you were to trade him, okay, that's where Rui could come in. And also you could argue, you play Rui over Dalton Connect. But you also don't want to get Dalton Connect 80 minutes. So what, are you playing? Like, it makes more sense to play Jarred Vanderbilt 15 minutes a game than it does Rui Hachimura. Right? Because Rui is not going to be able to get the offensive output to justify those 15 minutes. Right? But Jarred Vanderbilt will be able to give you the defensive productivity to justify those 15 minutes. Get what I'm saying? So, I don't know. I think if it's between Jarred Vanderbilt and Rui Hachimura, I think Jarred Vanderbilt's the guy you keep. I know a lot of Laker fans really want to keep Rui Hachimura, but I still think you gotta look to move him personally. But anyway, as always, this is a discussion, so I pass the question on you. Let me know your thoughts and opinions down in the comments below. What do you think? How do you feel? What are your thoughts? Do you agree with me? Do you disagree with me? Kind of mixed in the middle. However you feel, whatever your thoughts are, I love to hear it. So let me know down in the comments below. That being said, if you haven't liked this video, hit that like button. Helps me a lot. So we enjoy these types of videos, and I truly appreciate it. Not subscribe channel, hit that subscribe button. Turn on the bell notifications. Appreciate y'all. See you in the next one.